We're joined from Cairo by the international relations expert, Dr. Ismail Turki. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Qnews. And let me start here by your, how did you perceive the new Israeli aggression against Syria?
Good afternoon and good afternoon for the viewers. This is not the first assault for the Syria, and it will not be the last aggression as long as Israel takes use of the Syrian political distortion, and this aggression refers that Israel is continuing the aggression and to control a new real status quo and control and to take control on Syrian territory. It relates, it sends or delivers a lot of messages to all the world. It stresses on Syria to stop the ceasing fire and a totally normalization on Syria towards Israel, and to send to the Syrian party, either Turkey or Syria, that sent some experts to the southern Syria because it wasn't available to Syrian army to support this area with weapons. In addition, to deliver a message to the Saudi Arabia that we cannot link the issue of normalization and peace to the peace agreement to be an independent Palestine, and Syria stands by Saudi Arabia in this situation. I think Israel stresses that it violates the international law and wants to take control on the territory and wants the Arab lands to be unstable because of its situations, and especially the internal conflicts, because in Gaza, situation in Gaza, there will be some violations and conflicts to the Yemen country, and it wants to enter an army to Iran to change its point of view. And we know we are going to election period, and they want the Israeli leaders to take some votes, more votes, to present more of a vision and normalization of Israel that says Israel is controlling the southern Syria and turns it to be hers, and to take control more on the nearby countries.
Sir, you've linked all the the whole scene in the Middle East into this question. If I may ask you, are we expecting here a further escalation by Israel through Israeli new operations in Syria at this upcoming period, if those are all linked issues?
Of course. As I started my conversation, it's not the first aggression and not the first operation in Syria, and it will not be the last. Israel is continuing to stressing on the Syria, and for the leadership, Syrian leadership, that held with a lot of patience for a self-restraint and to deliver messages that it wants to rebuild the country and to overcome the international challenges and to enhance the economic situation, especially for the USA, that it will not engage with Israel and not threatening, but it's not appreciated by the Israeli side that take the use and linked it and tried to take over territories from Golan and Sheikh Mountain and Suwaida and southern Syria, and 13 of civilians were killed. Operation that was represented as or considered as a great war, and it will not abide by an international laws, especially the U.S. Stresses and to stop Israel from further escalation. It ends with nothing, and Israel is continuing an aggression by the Israeli territories and dealing with Syria as a destroyed country, and will not allow Syrian army to take control over things and over situation and unify Syria and to stabilize or encouraging any stability.
So you think here we're expecting Israel to attempt to occupy new areas in Syria, and that would be a kind of pressuring codes on other states to comply with the Israeli and the U.S. demands?
I think that Israel has a target, is to include more Syrian territory and to take the chance of what Syria goes on in this current period as instability and economic issues and some factions and parties, weaponized factions and parties, and not, especially the parties not giving the loyalty to the government and Ahmed al-Shara government, especially if the U.S. tried to be a defendant and to help the Ahmed al-Shara in the White House. However, these situations ends up with nothing because Israel is taking use of the status quo and stresses the political condition as long as Syria does not respond of its requests, especially Syria applied or gave a lot and not responding for the military operations and on controlling some Syrian ideas, but it ends up with nothing because Israel tries to make this temporary conditions to be a permanent condition and to sign an agreement that gives the recognition of Israeli in Syrian lands, especially in Golan and some other places.
So from your point of view, sir, what can stop Israel from violating the Syrian territories and other Arab territories as well?
From my point of view, we can stress on Israel from the social community and the security the field to stabilize the area and to save the region from this instability in these countries, because it affects a lot because of the Israeli escalations and the continuous attack on the neighboring country. In addition, that everyone knows that the Israeli have the stressing keys on the Israeli government, and U.S. had the especially U.S. and the White House had a great stress on Israel and has to continue stressing on Israel and help Syria in not escalating or not moving or move over the red lines, and to make an agreement to end these escalations and to end this war, and to make the agreement that happened in 1974, and to abide by all the international laws and to control or to stabilize these areas. And as long as Syria stresses that many times that it's not a threat on Syria, on Israel. And there is, in addition, to the self-restraint, majorly it tries to rebuild itself and to modernize itself and enhance the economic condition and to engage in the international community by the help of the countries that want that Syria is a good and new countries for all of us.
Right, that was Dr. Ismail Turk from Cairo, the international relations expert. We thank you so much for joining here us on Q News.